We often find ourselves looking for purpose and for indications that we are heading in the right direction when we are confronted with the vastness of the universe. The true beginning of magic, however, is when one gives in to the natural flow of life and allows it to take its course. When you learn to trust the universe, it is similar to learning how to float on the surface of the water, supported by waves of cosmic consciousness. Imagine for a little time the complex mechanism that makes up a clock, with each gear turning in perfect sync with the one that comes after it. This is the universe in action, a complicated system of energies that are intertwined with one another, and nothing occurs due to random chance. Each and every moment that we go through is a thread in a tapestry that is always growing, and it is woven with the strands of both intentionality and happenstance. When we put our trust in this procedure, we give ourselves permission to be directed by a power that is more powerful than ourselves and is inextricably linked to the core of all that exists. The idea of trust is not something that is unfamiliar to us. We trust that the sun will rise in the morning and set in the evening as it should. We trust that the seasons will change and that the tides will rise and fall. On the other hand, we often hesitate when it comes to the currents of our life that we cannot see. When we consider that the unseen is just as real and consistent as the day and night, the issue that it raises is why we have such doubts about it. Via synchronicities, via the gentle whispers of intuition, and through the sudden unexplainable knowledge that flows through our veins, the universe communicates with us in a plethora of different ways. A small push in the direction of our real calling is provided by each of them, which serve as signposts. Prior to being able to interpret these signposts, however, we must first cultivate a language of trust. This is a language that does not communicate via words, but rather through sensations, resonances, and the unspoken comprehension that we are just where we should be. The door to possibilities is opened when we begin to trust. We engage in a dance of creation in which our thoughts, our intentions, and our deeds are in alignment with the larger will of the cosmos. In this way, we become co-creators with the universe. When we are in this harmony, we notice that our anxieties start to gradually disappear. As a result of the realization that the universe has a plan that is far more extensive than anything that we could ever concoct, we no longer feel the need to exert control over every facet of our existence. Now think of the occasions in your life when everything seemed to fall into place, those moments of serendipity that seemed as if they were a result of magic. The occurrence of these events was not only a coincidence. Rather, they were the product of your conscious or unconscious alignment with the rhythm of the universe. In the event that you were to develop this alignment and tend to it in the same manner that you would a seedling in your garden, what would the results be? A deliberate choice to let go of resistance and to welcome uncertainty with open arms is required in order to master the art of trusting the universe. This is not a passive practice. Rather, it is an active involvement. The magic comes when one is in this state of not knowing, when one is open to the many possibilities that are now available. In this place, we discover chances that are disguised as problems, and we learn lessons that are wrapped in difficulties. There is a connection between trusting the universe and trusting oneself. Believing in our own ability for development and change, as well as our own resilience, is what it means to have courage. It means paying attention to the voice that comes from inside ourselves, even when it is hushed in the midst of the clamor of cultural demands. It is a declaration of our own power, the power to choose, the ability to create, and the capacity to bring into existence the reality that we want. However, trust may not represent unquestioning faith. Neither our responsibilities nor our capacity to make judgments are in any way diminished as a result of this. On the contrary, it is a partnership, a cooperation with the universe, in which we play an essential part. First, we decide what we want to do. Then we take inspired action. And last, we give the universe permission to perform its part, to direct us, and to unfold our tale in ways that we could not have possibly anticipated. There is a source of tranquility that may be found in this trusting. As time goes on, we grow less agitated by the ups and downs of fate, and we become less persuaded by the continuous swing between good and evil. We are aware that every single event, every single person we come into contact with, and every single challenge we face is a component of our development, a new chapter in the journey of our soul. We acquire the ability to regard life not as a collection of arbitrary occurrences, but rather as a holy story that is unfolding just as it ought to. In addition, what about the challenging times, the times when trust seems to be impossible to achieve? These are the moments when the universe is demanding that we go even farther into the well of trust, in order to discover the power that is contained inside the core of vulnerability. It is a reminder that even in the midst of the confusion, there is a center of quiet, a core of serenity that is not affected by the turbulence. Recalling this is an important part of the process. The universe does not need any kind of perfection. Rather, it only that you be genuine. This requires us to present ourselves in our whole and complete form with all of our worries, our hopes, and our aspirations. The question is whether we should grant ourselves permission to be human, to make mistakes, to fall, and to get back up again. The dance of life is a dance of continual becoming, of learning and unlearning, of hanging on and letting go. This is the dance of life. The more we travel through the seas of life, the more we realize that trust is not a fixed condition, but rather a process that is always evolving. It is the act of throwing oneself to the wind, not knowing where the currents will take us, but believing that the journey will be one of development and satisfaction. As we travel, we gain the ability to trust not just the universe but also the trip itself, as well as the knowledge that may be gained from each and every curve and twist. As we engage in the practice of trusting the universe, we also come to understand the significance of giving thanks. Gratitude is the lens that allows us to have a fresh perspective on the situations that we find ourselves in. Because of this, we are able to see the benefits that are concealed inside the circumstances that would otherwise be regarded as unfortunate. When we approach life with an attitude of gratitude, we make room in our hearts to receive the bounty that the universe has to give. Have you ever taken the time to observe how the quality of your day, the relationships you have, and the consequences you encounter are all altered by how grateful you are? Trusting in the universe is analogous to trusting in the natural cycles that occur in the world. We need to trust in the cycles of our life just as the farmer does in the knowledge that the crops will grow, the rain will fall, and the sun will shine. The seasons of planting, nurturing, harvesting, and laying fallow will all come and go at various points in time. Every season has a specific function, a unique beauty, and a significant lesson to teach. We are reminded by these cycles of the significance of timing, that there is a time for activity and a time for rest, a time to speak and a time to listen, and that there is a time for each of these things. It is possible that one of the most difficult components of this trip is to have faith in the time that the universe has chosen for you, particularly in a society that places a high value on instant outcomes. However, when we show respect for the natural rhythm of events, we make it possible for things to develop with an elegance and ease that cannot be replicated via the use of strong effort. As we trust the universe, let us also take into consideration the role that purpose plays. Placing a clear aim in the landscape of awareness is like to planting a flag in the atmosphere. It sends a message to the universe about our purpose, our direction, and our dedication to a certain route. The strength of intentions lies in the fact that they are able to capture our attention, our energy, and our own essence, and direct them toward a certain result that we seek. They are the seeds that will eventually yield a garden that is comprised of our experiences. When we establish our goals from a position of trust, we provide them with a power that cannot be matched by just desiring to achieve them. We are aware that the purpose of our intentions is not only to accomplish a certain goal, rather, they are with the objective of aligning ourselves with the greatest benefit for ourselves and for everyone involved. What brings the enchantment of the universe into our life is the alignment that we have achieved. The question now is, how can we establish intentions that are in harmony with the great plan of the universe? First, we allow ourselves to become quiet and attentively listen to the utterances of our heart. We do not ask for what we want from a position of egoishness. Rather, we ask for what we want from a place of soulishness. Through this endeavor, we endeavor to comprehend our role within the larger whole, as well as our contribution to the symphony of reality. During this period of silence, we could come to the realization that the things we believed we desired are not really what we need. It is possible that we may discover that our genuine wants are more fundamental, more profoundly tied to our core, and more profound than we previously anticipated. The universe has bestowed upon us this epiphany, which is a course correction that has been directed by something that is far more knowledgeable than our conscious intellect. As we walk through life with intentions that are rooted in trust, we transform into magnets, drawing events that are in alignment with our frequency. Our clarity, our sincerity, and our desire to be guided are the factors that the universe reacts to first. It is as if every step we take in trusting someone or something causes a ripple that spreads out into the universe and brings back to us echoes of our most profound desires. On the other hand, it is essential to keep in mind that putting one's faith in the universe does not imply giving up control of one's life. There is no justification for inactivity when we have trust. Rather, it is a basis upon which we may construct our aspirations. We are required to fulfill our responsibilities, perform the actions that are within our purview, and then let go of our connection to the final result. We trust that the universe will meet us halfway and do what we can with what we have, from where we are, and we hope that it will be enough. In this relationship with the universe, we discover a harmony between exertion and surrender, between directing and being directed, and between leading and being led. Through the use of our ideas, feelings, and intuition, we acquire the ability to walk with the universe and to engage in conversation with it. The indications, the synchronicities that serve as confirmation that we are on the correct road, are something that we learn to understand. It is possible that we may face opposition from both inside and outside as we continue to trust, act, and trust again. Our apprehensions may come to the surface, and our uncertainties may suggest failure and disappointment. The reliability of our trust is put to the test in these situations. We are presented with the chance to renew our confidence in the universe and to choose trust over apprehension at this very moment. It is a normal element of the process of development to encounter resistance. We are propelled ahead by the tension that is created by the friction that forms the spark. When we come up against opposition, we are being prompted to investigate our convictions, to question our constraints, and to broaden our horizons beyond the confines that we have decided for ourselves. During the course of our journey toward trust, the symphony of synchronicity continues to harmonize with the orchestration of the universe. Over time, we develop a greater sensitivity to the small signals that direct our actions. It is a sequence of coincidences that are too accurate and too timely to be just the result of chance. Synchronicity is the language that the universe uses to communicate with us. It is the universe's way of confirming that we are in accord with its rhythm, that we are moving in sync with a broader pattern that we may not completely explain, but can surely sense. These synchronicities are the universe's method of confirming that we are in harmony with its rhythm. Take into consideration the most recent instance in which you were confronted with a series of occurrences that seemed to be perfectly prepared to convey a message or direct your choice. If you were thinking about someone at that same time, it's possible that they phoned you at that very minute. At that particular juncture in your life, you could have happened across a book that held the very piece of knowledge that you were looking for. The universe is trying to communicate with us and show us that there is a flow to life that we can trust. These are not random events. Rather, they are the universe's method of talking with us. What are some ways that we might increase our receptivity to these signs? The first step is to become conscious. The only way for us to become observers of our own lives is to do it with an open mind and a sense of curiosity. In order to be able to hear the whooshed voices of the universe, we need to quiet the commotion that is occurring in our brains. Through the cultivation of presence, we are able to live in the present moment, without being preoccupied with the past or worrying about the future. When this presence is present, it creates an environment that is conducive to the growth and development of synchronicities. Developing our intuition, which is that inner knowing that often goes against reasoning but almost never leads us astray, is a natural consequence of being more present. The way we know without being aware of how we know is via our intuition, which is our direct connection to the universe. The gut feeling, the spontaneous inspiration, and the unexplained confidence that emerges from the fundamental aspects of our being are all examples of this. Our choices become more fluid, more easy, and more in tune with the unfolding of our greatest potential when we trust our intuition and connect ourselves with the wisdom of the universe. When we do this, we discover that our choices become more in tune with the unfolding of our highest potential. Having the guts to trust our intuition is a necessary step in the process. It requires us to take chances, trust that the safety net will materialize as we jump and walk into the unknown. The act of trusting in the invisible forces that form our fate is a proclamation of our willingness to be guided by something that is more powerful than our reasoning brains. Trusting the universe, on the other hand, does not mean giving up control or responsibility over our life. On the contrary, it is about accepting complete responsibility for our vibration, our thoughts, our feelings, and the acts that we do. It is about acknowledging that while we may not be able to control everything that occurs to us, we do have the ability to choose how we react to it, to steer our ship in the direction of our aspirations, and to trust that the winds of the universe will assist us in navigating the journey. As we go on this trip, we also acquire the skill of detachment. Being detached does not mean not caring. Rather, it means caring in a responsible manner. It is the process of making a significant investment in our goals, while simultaneously letting go of our connection to the manner in which and the amount of time at which they will materialize. The elegant skill of letting go, of allowing the universe to work its magic in the time and manner that best supports our progress, is what we mean when we talk of detachment. Additionally, detachment is being open to the possibility of results that are not in accordance with our expectations. It is possible that the universe has ambitions that are far more ambitious than our own. When we are emotionally invested in a certain result, we run the risk of losing sight of the chances that are trying to make their way into our lives. We are able to pivot, to flow with the currents of change, and to accept the unexpected gifts that come our way when we have the ability to detach ourselves from external circumstances. Through the practice of detachment, we gain the ability to trust in the evolution of life. There is a natural sequence to things, a divine order that we are unable to constantly quicken, and we are aware of this fact. In the same way as the transformation of a caterpillar into a butterfly cannot be hurried, we must also allow our dreams the time they need to take flight without interference. On the other hand, what about the instances in which trust seems to lead us into difficulty and difficulty? These are the times when trust is developed and its genuine depth is put to the test via the testing of trust. It is not the case that the universe is a vending machine that can fulfill our wishes with the simple push of a button. A knowledgeable instructor, a sculptor who shapes us through experience, chiseling away what is not important in order to unveil the beauty that is inside us, it is called experience. Difficulties are not punishments. Rather, they are chances for development, for learning, and for increasing our level of trust in one another. To comprehend that sometimes we need to be broken open in order for our true light to come out, they urge us to go beyond appearances, to find the silver lining in the storm cloud, and to understand that occasionally we need to be broken open. While we are navigating the rivers of difficulty, we are obligated to keep in mind that the universe is always working in our favor, even when it does not seem to be doing so. Every failure, every challenge, and every no is a step in the right direction toward a more significant yes. It is guiding us away from things that are not intended for us and toward those that are rightfully ours. This does not imply that we consent to everything that takes place without question. It means that we approach life with an attitude of inquiry, asking not, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "What is this teaching me?" It means that we look for the lesson, the development, and the strength that comes from every struggle that we face. As we continue to do so, we come to realize that trust is not a passive experience. Engaging with life in a way that is both dynamic and active occurs. In the end, trust is about submitting ourselves to a wisdom that is superior to our own experience and knowledge. Having confidence in the potential that is both inside ourselves and all around us is essential. It is about trusting in things that cannot be seen. Understanding that the music is being played by a beneficent universe that wants for us to flourish, to progress, and to become the full manifestation of all that we are destined to be. is the essence of what it is to dance with the mysteries of life. As a result, let us pay attention to the symphony of synchronicity, tune our hearts to the beat of the universe, and take a courageous step into the flow of trust. Due to the fact that we become co-creators with the universe when we engage in this harmonic movement, we are able to paint our lives with the colors of potential and experience the poetry of our own transformation. Audio in. Embracing the path is what destiny does. It is through trust that one may achieve change. As we explore further into the meaning of trust, we come to the realization that it is not only a philosophical notion, but rather a lived experience, a path of transformation that alters the very core of our being. The concept of trust emerges as the means by which we traverse the intricacies of life, serving as a compass that guides us toward our true north among the ever-changing landscapes of the human experience. Trust is like water that nurtures our resilience in the garden of the spirit. We are able to cultivate the seeds of strength inside ourselves each time we make the decision to trust, even when we are confronted with uncertainty. Resilience is not about never falling. Rather, it is about having the fortitude to get back up after each time we fall, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving ahead with fresh drive. There will be moments in our lives when we are brought to our knees, whether it is from sadness, disappointment, or grief. As we find ourselves at these vulnerable times, trust whispers to us that our brokenness is not the end of our journey, but rather a turning point, an initiation into a deeper awareness of who we are and what we are capable of. In moments like this, trust transforms into the gentle ground that cradles our fall and the fruitful ground that allows us to reborn successfully. Additionally, trust serves as a bridge between ourselves and other people, a silent contract that binds the hearts of individuals who are separated by vast chasms of cultural and social differences. Through the act of trusting, we allow ourselves to be exposed to the splendor of human connection, including the potential for love, friendship, and community. The act of allowing oneself to be seen, vulnerable, and recognized is something that we do. When it comes to relationships, trust is the glue that holds us together, making it possible for intimacy to develop in the space that it creates. On the basis of this foundation, we construct partnerships, collaborations, and alliances with other organizations. When we trust other people, we are demonstrating our confidence in their kindness and in their ability to hold us in our completeness, with all of our light and shade simultaneously. However, trust in relationships is not a one-time deposit. Rather, it is a currency that has to be invested in and cared to with care. Being honest, communicating effectively, and being ready to work through challenges are all necessary components. After the trust relationship has been broken, it is necessary to put in the effort to rebuild it, to have the humility to apologize, and to have the charity to forgive and forget. Trust is a journey that takes us within, to the discovery of our own inner environment. This is possibly the most deep act of faith that we can perform, trusting ourselves, believing in our intuition, in our ability to develop, and in our innate merit are all essential components of this. It is the voice that gives us encouragement when we begin to hear doubts whispered into our ears by dread. To turn our inner lead into gold, self-trust is the alchemy that performs the transformation. It is the acknowledgement that, despite the fact that we are falling short of perfection, we are still works in progress that are worthy of our own compassion and patience. The ability to trust ourselves gives us the ability to establish boundaries, to follow our interests, and to stand in our truth even when it is difficult to do so. We get more in touch with our own internal guiding system as we work to develop our capacity for self-trust. Within ourselves, we acquire the ability to differentiate between the clamor of external demands and the hushed voice of our own selves. Due to the fact that we have confidence in our capacity to handle whatever challenges we encounter, we are able to make more courageous decisions and are more ready to go into the unknown. Last but not least, trust encourages us to see life not as a collection of unconnected occurrences, but rather as a tapestry that is woven with intricate threads of connection. Every single occurrence, every single person, and every single obstacle is a thread in the complex tapestry that is our life. By allowing us to take a step back and see the bigger picture, Trust enables us to recognize and appreciate the manner in which our unique threads are intertwined with the broader pattern of the whole. The ability to recognize the importance of each moment and interaction is made possible by this viewpoint, which enables us to discover meaning in the everyday. This reminds us that nothing is wasted, and that each and every experience is a thread in the fabric of our being. When we are reminded that we are a part of something that is far greater than ourselves, we discover a feeling of purpose in the fact that we belong to that larger entity. Trust provides us with the fortitude to confront the unknown, the fortitude to triumph over hardship, and the delight of taking part in the unfolding of the human tale. Finally, may we continue to trust in ourselves, in one another, and in the path that lies ahead of us. May we remain steadfast in our trust, which will serve as a lighthouse in times of darkness and a cause for joy in times of brightness. And may we never forget that in the magnificent tapestry of life, every act of trust is an essential thread that adds to the everlasting beauty and strength of the whole. May this lesson always be ingrained in our minds. After all, trust is the most powerful magic that we have at our disposal, the core of our connection to the boundless possibilities that life has to offer, as well as the most authentic manifestation of our confidence in the goodness that lies ahead, is found in this. While we continue on our path, trust will continue to be our constant companion, leading us through the ups and downs of life's problems and victories. The concept of trust is not only a passing emotion. Rather, it is a constant commitment to accepting life in its totality, with all of its pleasures and difficulties. When it comes to the big tapestry of life, trust is the thread that links us together, weaving a story of development, discovery, and the blossoming of potential. It is the unseen force that binds us to one another and to the universe itself, serving as a constant reminder of our connectivity and the fact that we are all human. We are able to negotiate the twists and turns of our own pathways with bravery and grace because we have trust as our guiding light. We see every moment as a chance for personal development, and we do so with the knowledge that even in the most difficult of circumstances, trust has the ability to shed light on the path that lies ahead of us. Therefore, let us continue to have a profound faith in others, to love with courage, and to live our lives to the fullest, with the knowledge that trust is not only a choice, but rather a way of being, a demonstration of our unyielding faith in the enchantment of life's boundless possibilities. As we continue on our trip, may trust always be our dependable travel companion, leading us to a future that is brimming with hope, resiliency, and limitless promise.